All right, it's January 11th. I haven't done a skullet update in over a month. The reason being is because, well, December's a bit of a write-off. If you followed the tragedy that was my mishap with a barber who didn't understand what I was going for, she like basically shaved most of my head, and I just had to say fuck it and start from almost scratch. As you can tell, I've reached levels with this hair that Chris Hansen will probably knock on my door at some point and, want to have a chat.
No hug for me?
I, as you can see, I got this dirty duster going on here. The reason for that is, because I had to get a new employee picture taken, so I thought I would just have a little bit of fun with it. Now, let me do a turnaround here. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. Going in for a haircut next week. Got to get, this is, now that my employee picture's done, I can take this down a notch, because it needs it. It's pretty absurd. But the back is growing. I'm hoping, barring any more mishaps, in a good 3 months, we're going to see solid skullet growth. Okay. Now, this video, I'm going to do a kind of a two-parter here. I thought I would do a skullet update, but also talk about my first world problems. Something I noticed the other day. And yeah, I know World War III was almost upon us. Everyone was thinking, we're all going to die in a nuclear holocaust with Iran. Luckily, that was averted. It was never going to happen. But yeah, so, some serious shit going on in the world. Neil Peart died, right? That's some big fucking news, man. Like one of the greatest drummers of all time. As you can see behind my shoulder there, I got a symbol there. I like to experiment a little on the kit, But yeah, Neil Peart died. Like one of the and I hate prog rock, and I'm not a big fan of Rush, but you gotta admit, those guys were influential, right? So anyways, big news all over the world. Big happenings going on, but I've got some serious issues that I would like to talk about that are very near and dear to me in my heart. Okay, these are my first world problems. Now, it's about strip joints. I don't mind going on the strip joint occasionally, right? But it's got to be with a group of people. Like, I'm not one of these dudes that can go solo. Like, that's, no. But once a year, go to the Rippers, and there's a local joint that I've been to about 2, 3, 4 times now. Yeah, I want to say about 4 times. And in Mississauga there. And the talent is quite fine. I'm not going to name it, but the talent is quite exceptional, I got to say. Like I said, I go about once a year. I don't mind going, once a year. You're going to dump a lot of money. You're going to piss it away on expensive beer, a couple lap dances, whatever, right? But, that's okay. If you're going every weekend, like, I think you might have an issue, right? Unless, of course, you're one of the pimps there making that money. But, so I'm at the Rippers, like, the other week, and I'm watching the dancers on stage, and it came to me, I just realized how shitty strip joints have become. While the ladies might be hot, the atmosphere has just gone down the shitter, hardcore, okay? I'm looking at these ladies on stage, Savannah's walking along doing her thing, and that's literally all she's doing is just walking across the stage, little sachet, kind of puts her hand on the pole and does a little turn, and that's it. They might do a little like stage humping, or whatever, but that's it, right? Now, I don't know if it's the opioids, if it's the heroin or the fentanyl that's causing this lack of motivation with these ladies, but it is got to be one of the most boring things I think I've ever seen, right? Now, I remember back in the day, man, like when I was in like my early 20s, you go to the strippers with your buddies, and they had features come out, these like semi-famous porn stars would come out and they'd bring up other dancers on the stage, do a little lesbian act, they had a little life to them, It's like they gave a shit, It was fun. It was a good laugh, Guys would go on stage with a bill, which I've only done once in my life. I swear to God, only once. But guys would go on stage and everyone would be like, woo, whatever, the chicks seem to be lively, you know, and they'd even get on the pole and do a little twirl. Some would do some moves, some pole dancing moves, and it was like, you know, like that was all right, you know. You didn't mind spending, you know, $9 on a beer or whatever. But I'm sitting in this place, and it's like, it's so depressing. I'm like, this is shitty, right? There's no life to these ladies anymore. Like, I don't know if my buddy was like, you know, maybe it's a liability issue. That's why they don't go on the pole or something like that, you know. But I don't know, maybe, man. But like the Rippers over the past 15, 20 years or whatever, they've just gone down the dumps, man. There's no life anymore. There's no, you know, I remember, I don't know what the promotion was, but like used to get all the ladies on the stage and they'd all be doing whatever. And I don't know, maybe they had some sort of promotion for a cheap lap dance. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But all I'm saying is it was like indicative of a party atmosphere. Now it's indicative of meth withdrawals. Okay. The rate at which these ladies just kind of derp down the stage, you know, and it's like, wow, what the hell am I looking at, right? To the point where you don't even really pay attention until they like take their top off. You're like, oh, that's all right. But then, you know, you're back and you're chatting with your buddies and whatnot. But then I realized I know what it is. I know what it is. It's not the ladies on stage that people are there for, right? Because nobody wants to see that shit, right? Nobody wants to waste their time seeing a lady walk lazily across the stage and clean a pole, which she's not even going to use. No. So when you get the lap dances, right? And, well, the lap dances are nice, but they sell some extras at this particular establishment. And I'm not saying it's not every establishment, but the last couple places I've been to, it seems to be all the same in terms of like the lack of enthusiasm. Okay, but this particular place, it's the extras. Oh, would you like a little nagoon, as it were? You know, a little Hummer, or maybe you'd like to just you know, punch your panties, right? You know, and they always offer. And now people are really not going to believe this, but I always say no because I'm cheap, man. I'm not spending a couple $100 to have a chick ride me in a dirty, nasty ass chair when people are walking by. No, man. I don't. I can't do it, man. I can't. A, I'm too cheap, and B, it's the environment's not exactly conducive to a good, you know, panty punching. You know what I'm saying? So I figure that's what they're there for, right? All those dudes, right? Because let's face it, nobody really wants to drink super expensive beer and watch some chick, you know, strutting across the stage just waiting for her next heroin bump, you know what I mean? So that's it. Now, I got this one story. I'm at the Rippers at this place. It was like a couple years ago when this one dude, he gets this lap dance from this chick. And she's cracked out, okay? Like, something ain't right there. And she's got these, you know, she's got some pretty big assets. She's got some pretty big knees, you know? And I ended up leaving that night, you know? I was like, oh yeah, you can't forget this lady because she had like some exaggerated knees. Okay, let's put it that way. Turns out, again, a year later, maybe 6-8 months later, I don't know, right? I'm there with some friends, and there she is, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna get a lap dance, you know? Why not? Let's check it out, you know? I'm like, hey, I'll take a dance, and she goes to me, how many? And I'm like, how many? She's like, yeah, do you want like 5 or 6? I'm like, 5 or 6? This chick's trying to upsell me like she's a fucking Happy Meal. I'm like, no, I don't want 5 or 6. Like, I just like one, you know, like 1, 2, okay, 3 dances tops. Okay, after that, it's like you got to move on, right? 5 or 6 dances at $20 a pop, right? Whatever. And I'm like, no. And she goes, or we could go right to sex. And I'm like, no. But I thought it was pretty funny. She's trying to like upsell me, like, oh, would you like to supersize your fries today? You know, would you like the jumbo frosty from Wendy's? You know, I noticed you got a junior bacon cheeseburger, but why wouldn't you have a Baconator instead? And I'm like, I just wanted one dance, right? Just to like, whatever. And she's trying to supersize me. So, yeah, man. I figure that's it. That's why the strip joint sucks so much, right? All these chicks are hoeing and not putting any effort into the show whatsoever. So, it's a good thing. Yeah, I'm very disappointed in strip joints these days, and they've just really gone downhill, right? I'd like to see, ladies, if you see this, could you put some enthusiasm in the stage show? Maybe do a couple twirls around the pole, right? That's what they're there for. They're not there for you to just hang on it and do a little swing around, right? Go upside down. Do some crazy shit. And the funny thing is, like, a lot of these ladies, they play like some hip-hop or rap or whatever, and it's like, yeah, okay. You can kind of see the slow movements, right? You can kind of get it. But even these broads are playing techno and like rock and roll, you'd think, fuck yeah, man, we're going to get a show, right? They're going to be lively. Look, I'm not suggesting you do somersaults on the goddamn stage, right? But if there's some good old rock and roll going or some techno, I expect to see something a little more than like a, doom, 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 right? That shit doesn't cut it, man. It doesn't cut it. That doesn't make me want to go, wow, she's lap dance material. So, no. Anyways, look, the skullet's coming along. Got to get the sides and the top taken down. Back's coming along. That thing hasn't been touched since November. So hopefully in another few months, it's going to be good to go. And strip joints, they just suck. It's a complete waste of money now, right? Lap dances are fun and all, but sometimes it's nice to just sit around the table with your buddies, and watch a stage show, right? We can't have nice things anymore.